you? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to try out React stuff, React form handling. So this is a kind of a most common thing we tend to face when we are working with React. Not only React, but most of the web framework stuff, we will have to use this. Without inputs, we can't work. But first of all, I would like to wish you very happy new year, and all your work and things you are expecting to achieve in this year, you will be able to achieve. Work hard for your goals. Let's learn together and do some better development stuff. Bring something to world. Let's make this world a beautiful place. So that is my wish for this year. Let's start the tutorial. But just before that, comment section is available. Let me know if you have anything to share with me, and your comments and thoughts on my videos, and if you think any technology or topic I would cover that you like, let me know in the comments. I will give it a try definitely. And that's all for the intro stuff. So let's get back into the tutorial. And as I mentioned, I prepared a React project and configured it with Bootstrap stuff. Maybe I will be able to put another video on this one, configuring React project with Bootstrap, but not now. So first of all, I would like to say when we are working with inputs, there are two ways of doing that. First one is uncontrolled inputs. Second one is controlled inputs. So I'm going to talk about both these areas and try out different input types like inputs, checkbox, and drop downs or select box, like those things. And I will show you how I do work with React input stuff normally. So for that, I tried very small application. Let me copy these things and I will explain because I think live coding takes some time actually. Here I have created a reference. If you have previous experiences with React, reference or ref is used to refer some DOM elements. Then we can work with them simultaneously on the DOM. So that is the usage of reference. Maybe I will be able to put another video for reference, but not now. And I created a what do you call this one, event handler. I created an event handler, simple one on submit. Let me copy the things I have done earlier, like this. Yeah. Now I need to import some stuff, form from Bootstrap, and also button from Bootstrap as well. Yeah, let me save it. Then it will be rendered on the UI. Yeah, my dev diary stuff will go away. Okay, so now you can see I have input element and I have button. In this button, I have on click action. On click action, it is binded with on submit. I'm not using event handler object because I'm not using it. And here I am using ref. The ref I have defined just now. So it is like that. So in this way we can capture the value. So this is the way of capturing value when we are working with references. When we are clicking on this button will trigger this event handler and we will be able to see alert. Let's see. I'm using John and you can see the value is available here and the alert is displayed. So that is how we captured this very basic way, and this is the uncontrolled component behaving. And this behavior is not for everything, but if there are cases like that, you can use it. Something like when you want to capture the values at the end of the process, maybe at the end of the form, when clicking on submit button, if that is the only place you want to capture the values, this is the one you better go for. And not only that, but when you don't need on-field validations, you only need to trigger validations at the end, and you don't care about the input error messages kind of thing on the way while the user is typing. So this one is for you. You can go with uncontrolled components. Not much recommended, but it is there. You can use, and you can do some stuff actually without any issues. But when you are working with control components, you will see there are many benefits we can achieve by that. So but for now, so this is the way we are working with references. Use ref or create ref can be used as hooks, but uncontrolled components are behaving like that. My next example is control components in a basic way, but let me copy it quickly, then it will be easy for me actually. So for this one I'm going to use, actually I have used form control, but there is a form.control as well from Bootstrap, so we can use both without any problems. Here I am using 3 event handlers. So first one is on change, second one is on change to, and third one is on submit. All these event handlers are being used by my 2 input elements added here, and the submit button we had it previously, you know that. So but instead of that, I am bringing up states. So when it comes to control components, you will be using state value and you will be using event handler both. So that is the way we are working with control components. That means that value of the input element, the contain value, is under your total control. You can do any changes on the go. You will be able to do some changes. You will be able to do some on-site validations, like those things. But it comes with some costs, like writing event handlers and maintaining states like that. Let's see. So I am using on change and on change 2 here. So let me save it quickly, and it will be rendered soon. And now, yeah, now you can see first name I'm using John, second name Doi. You can see the values are populating on the go. We don't need to do anything. We can capture the values on the way, and if I click on submit, I'll be able to see John Doe like that. So it is one way of doing, but when you are seeing that, you can see we are repeating the code. You can see the only thing we are doing is setting up the values to a defined state value, but here we are doing the same thing. e.target.value is the capturing method, and we are setting up the value in the state like that. So it is kind of a duplication. So there is a way of handling that. Okay, let me copy it quickly. Here you can see we don't have this one, but instead of, let me copy it quickly, otherwise we will face errors. And we need to copy this one as well here. Okay, I don't need those things here. Yeah, this one. And here I don't have on change to. I will have on change only because I'm not using 2 event handlers now. I'm using 1 event handler. Let's discuss what the changes I have done. I removed 2 state I have maintained. I moved it to the object which contains first name and last name simply. So I think this is a good way of managing form, because when it comes to form, you are managing state, somewhat state, but object of values, because form is an isolated part where you can extract the object of values and you can represent it as a JavaScript object directly. So in that case, you can simply define your form elements like this: first name and last name. Those are the 2 values. Those values will be updated using those on change methods, and these on change methods are somewhat different from what we had earlier, because here when we are working with the states, we need to update without mutating. So that is why I'm using spread operator here. And here we can capture this one easily because I'm using dynamic inputs, which is a handy feature, came into the JavaScript with ES6. And here you can try out e.target.name. That is the name we are defining here, not yet, but in the future I am going to try out. I'm going to add the name value here like that. Let me add it quickly. And this is the first name, and I'm going to copy it again. I'm going to paste it like that, and after that I'm going to paste like that. Yeah, now you can see, okay, I don't need this one anymore. Yeah, now we have name attribute. The name attribute will go there with onChange method, and in this onChange I am capturing the name and I am capturing the value using e.target.value. So this is the default way of capturing value for input fields, but not only for the other fields like checkbox and radio buttons. I will explain those things later. So after that I need to define the values as well. So here value dot first name and last name as well. Let me copy it quickly. Yeah, now you can see I have changed my methods to the control components, and now I am using one method instead of two methods. So here you can see first name and last name are empty now. If I type anything, I'm getting inputs like that without any problems, and if I click, I'm getting nice JSON value because I use JSON.stringify to make my object to string. So it is displaying nicely without any issues. It's working fine. So this is the way you can combine your values into one event handler, but only if you are using e.target.value. If you are using some other types like checkboxes, radio buttons, I will explain those things later, but in this way you can simplify your code, and your code is more readable and very easy to understand. So that is the way of writing with input elements, but there are more than that. So let me show you. I think just before that, I think I can do some modification to this one, right? Here we are repeating our code again. Yeah, you know I don't like repeating code stuff. So I'm going to try out with name and value, and I am e.target, right? Now you can see I have two values, so that is not acceptable, right? So I will have to change this one because that is not acceptable, because I can't have two variables with same name. In this case I will have to change it quickly, otherwise my code won't work for sure. So I don't need e.target.name. I don't need e.target.value here again. I just need a value, and not value here, it will be data, and again here it will be data, and in these two places as well it will be data. Quickly, yeah. Now if I save it again, you will see I won't get any errors, but the code will work as the way we expected. But when it comes to that, you can see I have done something wrong. I am getting these values populating in a separate way, but not the way I want. So let's check quickly. In this way, you see I have done a mistake. It is not value, it should be data. So that is the mistake I came through. I mutated the my state in a wrong way, so it resulted in that way. So let me refresh. Now I can see it like that. You can see without problems. Now code is working as the way we had previously. So that is the way of simplifying code when we are working with React. It is much needed. Then you can keep your components very clean way. So the next example, I'm going to copy everything actually like that, and here everything is same. We have first name, last name, and in addition to that, now I have age. Let's see what I'm going to try out in here. Here I have created a drop down, not drop down but selection option with several options where I can select the values on drop down. This is not a different one. Actually, it is same as the way we work with input elements for text, because it is also uses on change, and it is submitting its value through value object as the way we had earlier here like that. So there are no issues of doing that. Without any problems, we can simply do it. So that is another element type which we are using frequently, the drop down kind of things. So let me show you. If I select it like that, I'm getting a value and click it. Yeah, you can see now my JSON is available. Same thing you are seeing below, nothing different thing. So it is the way we can work with drop downs as well. So it is very simple, it is very understandable. There are no much difficult things so far, but let me show you some different stuff. Like when it comes to form handling, we will have to work with checkbox kind of elements. Let me copy it quickly. So now you can see I have a nice checkbox element here. Let me save it. Then you can see it is rendered on the screen. Yeah, now we have has a bank account. So here you can see now my code is like that. On change is the one I am using, but here I am using a different method, right? So let me go up and show you. This is the old method we had. We know that on change method with some nice modifications. And the next one, on checked. What is this? What is the difference? Okay, we have checked here instead of value. We have checked. That is because uh, input elements like radio buttons and checkboxes sends their value through checked. So in this case, we will have to use a checked element. That is why I am having another method and using it to get the capture the input, actually capturing the input. So let me type it, just ordinary things. I don't know what the text is. So here if I am clicking on this continuously, I am getting value, and here you can see value is available on the submit as well. So it is like that. And one more thing, we can further simplify this one. Let me show you quickly, because now again also you can see some duplication in the code. Let's see how we can avoid it. Actually we can avoid it in a very simple way. And const value, now I need to capture value. That is where we need to do some conditional rendering, not rendering, actually conditional execution. So I'm checking the type, type checkbox is the one we are getting. I did a mistake. Type checkbox is the one we had we had a different way of capturing value, so I am using it as my conditional value. And value should be e dot target dot. Okay, my keyboard is getting bad these days. Checked. Otherwise, okay, why you are not cooperating with me, my keyboard? Yeah, like that. Now I have value here. Now I have name again, which we captured earlier, but now we have type variable as a new value. Now I can get rid of my onChecked. Instead of that, I'm using my favorite onChange. Okay, what happened? Yeah. Now it is compiling. You can see it is compiled now. So if I type anything, values are not gone away. It is there. So if I click on that, you can see values are there, but I'm not using my onChecked because it is not needed now. I can use one method for do all the things for event handling stuff. So that is how we are working with React in inputs, and how we can simplify our code in a better way. Actually, I really like of doing these things because simplifying a code is a kind of a happy feeling actually for a developer. uh, Seeing clean things on your code and cleaning up your components in a better way, so that is a really good thing you need to do as a developer. So you can learn more by trying to simplifying code, but not over engineering, but some kind of duplication avoiding, and adding some kind of code improvements, including new features, kind of things are very much needed as a developer. Really, trust me, if you are not doing it right now, do it. You will be able to gain lots of knowledge through that. So as the final one, I'm going to show you one more thing. So for now, uh, we have seen we are using uh, our input elements in a different ways, like checkboxes, drop downs, input elements, but I haven't told you about forms. I have included it in this example here, like that. I have form. In this form, I have on submit method. Earlier we haven't had that. Earlier we had only a few input elements. Let me copy that example quickly, then you will be able to understand. Here you can see we haven't had a form here. We only had two input elements, and we are working totally depending on that button has the responsibility to handle the events. But in here we are not doing that. We are taking the form elements, because when we are working with form element, we can give some additional benefits, like enter to submit kind of things. Normally you may not needed that, but it is good practice to contain the form kind of things inside a form. Then it will be easy to understand the DOM as well. You are using a form. So that is a standard way. When we are working with JavaScript, we not only JavaScript but with React, we try to follow the default standards, and we are trying to give priority to default standards more over language specific or library specific things. So follow those things, and your code will be really good when rendering. So when we are working with forms, try to wrap it in the form and use on submit as well. So let me show you that if you are using on submit, you will be able to use it like that. Yeah, some random values, and if I hit enter, yeah, if I hit enter, I'm getting value without clicking on submit. You can just use enter like this. So that is the tutorial for today, and if you are working with forms, try to remember those things, like controlled components, uncontrolled components, and the way we simplified our code, and how we can avoid duplications, like those things. And thank you very much for staying with me. If you are staying with me up to now, I think now you have learned something, and let me know if you learned something new in the comments. I would love to hear those stories. And subscribe my channel and share with your friends on about these videos, and there are several other videos on my channel as well in different kind of topics, like development and designing kind of things. So until then, bye for now. Stay awesome.